My name is Morgan Puckett. I'm a Kentucky Fame student with CTI. They're my parent company. Uh, like I said, I'm a Puckett. I come from a long line of working class people. Most of them were farmers. My dad he broke off and became a mechanic, and my grandfather was a carpenter. I'm an only child, and I've always been real easygoing, real shy, so this kind of situation's never been real fun for me. Um, I played football for 4 years in high school. I still do play football, backyard kinda, every now and then. And I shoot shotguns semi-professionally with the ATA, or the Amateur Trap Shooting Association. I love to hunt birds and deer and ride four-wheelers, and that kind of brings me to my story. My 12th birthday, we decided that we would have a birthday party out there, and we're all kind of anxious and kind of nervous because it was going to be like a four-wheeler riding party, and we didn't really want anybody to get hurt. That was kind of a main thing, but we finally decided that it'd probably be okay. I went around when everybody got there, everybody but one guy went around, and we had dug some holes in the gravel, or in our fields, testing for gravel when we built our road. And I went around and showed them all those. I showed them all the drainage ditches, any kind of thing that could get anybody hurt. Well, everybody said, yeah, we know where everything's at, everything's fine, just don't worry about it. And one of my buddies took off on a go-kart. He went just as fast as he could to one of the fields and ended up hitting the drainage ditch. And this is a pretty big drainage ditch, and when it came off, one side is actually lower than the other. It ended up hitting the side of the ditch, this go-kart. Destroyed the front end of this go-kart. He was fine. He never, like I said, the go-kart was destroyed, but he did have a mark. He had a mark from where that seatbelt was, just right there for the rest of it. I think it was a 2-day thing. Everybody was fine. Everybody knows where that ditch is now. Be careful. There's not really anything on the other side of that ditch, so let's just not cross it at all. The guy that was late, he's been out there before. We had rode out there before, and he said, yeah, I remember where everything's at. Well, he takes off, and he no more than got his four-wheeler unloaded, and like I said, he took off, and he went straight for that drainage ditch, same one. It's real big on one side of the field and kind of smaller on the other. It kind of looks like just a little creek on one side. And he took off on that side, and I'm like, all right, he'll be fine. When he comes back across, I tell him that he needs to not go over there because we've already had one accident today. He takes off, and I see him sitting on the other side, and I said, what's wrong, man? He said, I think I broke my hand. And he said, and I was like, well, what do you mean you think I broke my hand? He said, I think I broke my hand. Well, he had just gotten there. His parents were still there. So we decided his parents were going to take him to the hospital. Get a call later on that night that he broke his thumb, which a four-wheeler, the throttle is with your thumb. And he needed 2 pins in his thumb. I guess he hit the ditch and it jammed back in his thumb.
Ouch.
But we started in that mud hole. I'd made a mud hole the day before, kind of got some water in there. And 15 or 20 guys on four-wheelers. Like I said, it wasn't very safe. We had a bunch of little wrecks, little people bumping into each other, not paying attention, but nothing more major that day. The next day, we did eat. All I wanted for my birthday was my dad to cook a brisket. Cooked that, ate that, and we ended up sleeping in a tent. The next day we got up and we were just playing around that mud hole again, and somebody had went in our barn and found out that there was an old set of skis in there, water skis. And they got the bright idea to tie a rope behind a four-wheeler and see if they could ski on the mud. And we played around with that for probably 30 minutes, just trying to get it to work, and it never did because they've got those fins on the bottom, and it Just okay. But later on that day, the buddy that broke his hand, he came by and showed everybody his cast, and after that we kind of just went home. So that was my 12th birthday party. So.